Hello, friends and readers. This is another, Paperbacks from Hell type of book, old school pulp horror. This is The Eye of the Mind by Lynn Biederstadt. I mean, look at this moody cover. I love this cover. Like those grumpy faces. I love these old paperbacks so much. Like the art style, just everything. I love them. They're great. So this is The Eye of the Mind. We open on a scientist burning a house down accidentally, killing some of the inhabitants so that the government can't take his research away from him. And then we cut to Michael, a computer genius who has been summoned to a beautiful, huge old house by Dr. Morrison, who has arranged for 6 psychics of different backgrounds to come and stay for a sort of like a research project. Morrison plans to use the psychics to create one supermind that can predict disasters and acts of terrorism and, things like that. But Michael learns that Morrison's previous project ended very badly and something shady may be going on. Maybe the project is spiraling out of everyone's control. So Lynn Biederstadt started out as a copywriter at 18 and at one point took a detour into women's counseling and medicine for a while as well, but came back to copywriting for big names like she worked for like Amex and Jaguar and was employed by the Ogilvy agency for a while or for like a chunk of her career. And she's still writing today, which is really cool. Her 2 commercially published novels are this one, her debut novel from 1981, and that was followed by Sleep in 1986, which has a really fabulously creepy cover. So since the 80s, the publishing world has dramatically changed. I think it functions really differently, especially these days. And it seems that she has an intriguing book called The Spirit Keeper and several others in the works that are, being shopped around to publishers currently. So that's kind of something to look out for in the future. She also has a passion for wildlife photography, which is very cool. And her blog, skydiaries.wordpress.com, tells more about, she's blogging all the time. It's great. She's talking about like current work she's doing and just different things, being a writer. So definitely check that out if you want to know more about her, what she's up to. I feel like that's really cool because it's so interesting with some of these older novels to kind of see like where people are now and what they're doing. And, people's lives are so interesting and so varied. But anyway, no, I won't get sidetracked. I love how this book opened. We get a weird scientist, arson, fire, big egos, and hints at secrets and things. It's great for shadowing and mystery. The next thing we know, we're at the setting of the current plotline, which is my favorite thing, a spooky old house in the middle of nowhere featuring a creepy caretaker called Katie. Wow, say that three times fast. And our host is a potentially sort of mad scientist type character. So I mean, I was sold immediately. I was in. Michael is like our entry point into this world and our main character. So he's a technical person, which is fun because 80s computers are sort of retro futuristic by today's ideas. I kind of love that kind of thing. He's more logical. He's a skeptic. He's kind of like the Scully of the story. So he's sort of a normal person like us readers, other than, being a genius at computers, which I am not. But, he's our sort of point of entry into this strange world of psychic powers and like psyops programs and stuff. So that's fun. He's a bit dismissive of the whole thing at first. And then into this, we have 6 characters who are brought to the house for the experimental program. They're all really different, and the author has created a unique voice for each of them, which I really liked. So first we have this like startling kind of child character, Claire, whose parents tried to use her like psychic gifts to grift people until the Psychic Institute intervened and took over her care. So she's interesting. She's been raised by committee, and because of her like her psychic skills, basically, she's really adult at times and then really she's still a child at others, I kind of liked that. Second, we have Kate. She's the calm one. She used to be a nun. She's very pretty and Michael is very drawn to her. She has a kindness and sense of humor that makes everyone else there kind of lean towards her. And then there's Steph, who is private, secretive, cynical, and elegantly dressed. I love how like clothing is described in this book. He and Kate know each other, and it's a bit of a mystery, like how they know each other and maybe how close they are. So that adds a little bit of intrigue. And then there's Marva. She's sort of our exotic foreign, lady. She puts her foot in it a lot. She can be overbearing. And then we have Evan, who is a drunk. He uses alcohol and cynicism to kind of cope with things. And we realize those things are things he saw when he was at Morrison's last experiment. Michael feels that he has an ugly nature, so that's kind of interesting. We're not sure what Evan's true motivations are. And then finally there's Karel, the Russian piano player, who has the most powers. He was also involved in Dr. Morrison's previous deadly project, and due to something that happened there, his powers have increased to the point that he's had to be hospitalized. His gifts seem to control him more than he controls them. So he's kind of the wild card here. Will he elevate the project or accidentally destroy them all? I don't know. It's cool. I love that they're all really different. They have different alliances, different responses to each other, and they all seem to have secrets, which is like, I love that, like everyone has a secret and they're in a rambling mansion somewhere. That's my favorite. Meanwhile, we have Dr. Morrison, our mad professor, and he's built this strange and wonderful room in the house, which is kind of described as shaped like a pyramid, which gives the reader some excellent and weird visuals, and that's supposed to facilitate maximum psychic powers. A few chapters in, and we suspect that Morrison is playing with forces that he doesn't understand and that are way bigger than himself. So that's also a wonderful bit of foreshadowing and sinister setup there. So, from all of that, you can probably tell that the book is character-driven in some ways. And while it all takes place in this one house, the walls of the place and the setting do not define the novel, really. There's quite a lot of twists and turns. There's some action as well, a little bit of action. The book is never boring, and it moves along at quite a nice clip as well. There are times where it's a bit of a quiet novel, and that gives us a really great contrast to the more dramatic, intense scenes. It kind of ratchets up the tension. I really like that there are so many secrets and people not talking about things. It just means that from the start, we have this really tense atmosphere and a lot of mystery. Like, what are their intentions? What do they know? Who knows who from before? Can Morrison keep the government out of his project? All of this cool stuff. And also, this through line of what happened during the last program. So for me, it was a real page turner, and I loved the sense of menace and impending doom. This was really fun for me. The ending of the story, it works. It wraps it all up really nicely with maximum drama and impact. To me, this was a really good, fun read. I liked this one. It may be slightly overlong. It ends, and then there's kind of, with all the tying things up, the ending feels a little bit long. Just tying up plot lines and stuff, but there was a little bit at the end in the very last scene. I kind of wondered what it meant, but if I told you about it, it would spoil it for you. So I'm not going to tell you about it, but on the whole, I like this one. Ominous, claustrophobic. It had this thing where the chapters ended on little cliffhangers or little half reveals. So it was a really good, pulpy page turner. So that is this book. I think after this, I really want to get my hands on her other paperback from this era. It's called Sleep. I think it looks good and creepy. But this is good, pulpy horror fun. It has that, Psychic Institute sort of paranormal stuff. Loved it. Have you read this one? If anyone's read this one, I'd love to hear what you think, or if you've read her other novel. But hopefully we will see her other books, out in the publishing world soon. That would be cool. So I'll chat to you guys in the comments if you have anything that you want to say. Do you like, books set in old rambling mansions? I don't know. It's not really a genre. It's just a setting. It works for gothic horror. It works for horror, romance. It just works. I don't know. I just love old houses, I think. Let me know in the comments, and thank you for joining me. We'll talk to you in the next one.